Hey, this is Gecko Mayhem. This is a Godforge video. Recently, I got together with two other content creators. We went into our Godforge minigame accounts and we opened between us around 6,500 shards. From that, I ended up with Athena as my main hero on my main account, with a weapon and an imprint that were appropriate, I felt, for what I hoped to gain from my main account. I also, in the middle of it, opened a whole lot of shards, or as many shards as I had, on my giveaway account. Now, I have a third account, and it's my alt account, and that's what I'm going to be doing today. I'm going to be opening all of the shards on my alt account to see which legendary hero we can get. And when I pull a hero, if it's a legendary that we haven't seen, then I will go over the kit. In fact, if it's any legendary, I will go over the kit, so you don't have to go and watch the 2.5-hour conversation that I had with the other content creators last week. Actually, how many shards do I have? 1,010 shards. Nothing summoned yet. As I summon them, oh, I got an epic already, Osiris. As I summon them, I'm trying to think if there's anything that I can talk about with regard to Godforge. Some of these models, though, I really like the portraits that they've done. We've got Brynhild. Imagine having Brynhild from the start. She's actually very good. But we're looking for gold. Although this is an alt account, having 1,000 shards means 100 summons. 100 full summons like this, which means I should, by all accounts, get at least 3 legendaries, if not up to 5. Now, if I have bad luck, I'm not actually going to end up with too many to choose from. And because it's an alt account, well, you know what? Beggars can't be choosers, so whichever legendary I pull first is going to be the one that I lock in to start with, until I summon a better legendary to replace it. Now, I might get something fantastic when the first gold appears here. I've noticed that you tend to get the same blues. Of course, there's a limited roster of blues, right? So that could be why you get the feeling that you're getting the same blues. Good mix, though, actually. It's not the same blues. It's not the same rares. It is a good mix. Although, that said, we just got 3 Isolders in one hit. Okay, we're getting close. We've got another epic. We have plenty more to summon. Coming up to the 200th or 20th summon. Shtabay. Ah, Hujin. Ah, he's a good one. Let's lock it in. Select this hero. Choose new. Right, Hujin. His basic attack, Gust of Wind, attacks all enemies. Straight off the bat, AoE on his primary skill. And it's multiplied by defense and attack. Because, as you can see down the bottom here, he is Cunning, a Defender, Chaos, and in the Izumo faction. With a 30 up to 50% chance to place resistance down 2. Resistance means that debuffs will land on them more frequently or more easily on each target. If Raijin is on the team, he will join in the attack. So good luck getting both Hujin and Raijin, because together they make a very strong combo. So we've got our core here. It books down to a 3-turn cooldown. Another AoE. Attacks all enemies, defense and attack, and place Protect 2 on all allies. He's a defender, so he does that kind of buff. Also place Stalwart on all allies. If Raijin is on the team, place Ward on him. And then we've got his ultimate here, with quite a high ultimate cost compared to other heroes' ultimates. Transfers a debuff from each ally to this hero, so if they all have just one debuff, they're gone. Then attack an enemy. Defense and attack. Transfer all debuffs from this hero onto that enemy, who is going to have resistance down. For each debuff that is transferred, increase all allies' barrier. If Raijin is on the team, transfer all debuffs to this hero. And reduce the damage received by allies from AoE attacks by 30%. Huge. AoE reduction is his passive, and his leader bonus is 50 resistance in all battles, as you can see there. Strong character. All this AoE, except for his ultimate, which is get rid of debuffs and increase barrier. Well, I am very happy with Fujin. I don't think I'm going to be replacing him on this old account. But let's keep summoning and see if we get something even better than Fujin. 2 Gawains in one. It's a little bit slow. It's not normally this slow at this time of the day. This is well before reset. Plenty more to summon though. We could get something incredible. Who that would be, I cannot say. There are some very strong legendaries, such as Athena on my main account. There are some strong legendaries, such as Hel, who is eternal. It's a huge benefit being an eternal champion. They already had her in the pool before they changed her to become an eternal champion, which is very cool because they kept her in the pool as far as I'm aware. Get through all the champions that we don't care about, although once I start playing this account I am going to care about a lot of rare champions. That's the thing about a fresh account. Of course every account in early access is going to be fresh, but the thing about an account starting from scratch is, wow, that's a few epics that you want to get good rares, because you're going to have a lot more access to rares than you will to epics and legendaries. And speaking of summoning champions, if you haven't seen a recent video that Simon put out about the mercy system, the pity system, and the summon rates, that video is worth a watch. It talks about the changes that they've made to the pity system. Oh, Shamash. Hold that thought. Let's go over Shamash's kit, and then I'll tell you why I'm not going to take Shamash over Fujin. People praised Shamash as a very strong champion during the alpha waves. Alpha 3, I think, especially because more people played and more people had access to Shamash and more people were able to test him out. His basic skill is just an attack. The ally with the lowest divinity will join in the attack. If the target is under ether burn, increase the turn meter of all allies. That's actually quite strong because you're not only getting a team attack with one extra person, you are actually increasing the turn meter of allies if you've got that debuff up. His core is just a single attack. All allies will join in the attack in this case. Has a chance to place that ether burn. So you want accuracy on him, and you want probably a bit of speed on him so he takes more turns, and you probably want a bit of defense on him, and the defense and health to help keep him alive because he is an invoker. Sorry, he's a strength, invoker, order, echo. His ultimate, this is where he really actually shines. He revives a random ally with most of their health and 40% turn meter, pretty big. He places Radiance 2 and attack up on all allies, so even if you're not resurrecting someone with his ultimate, he is placing those buffs of Radiance 2 and attack up. He also heals them for 15%, so he's resurrecting if someone's dead. He's healing all allies, and he's placing a shield with excess healing. A shield that equates to excess healing, sorry. The passive component of this, and this was why people absolutely praised him during the alpha and loved having this champion on their team, is that the first time an ally is killed in battle, he activates his ultimate without having to have the divinity to do so. If you get one shot, then Shamash goes wow, and up comes your champion. His passive, when an ally joins this hero in attack, it increases their divinity by 100. So if he does his basic and someone goes in, and it's an extra 100 divinity. When he does his core, when they all go in, it's an extra 100 divinity. So they're building their own ultimates. That is what makes Shamash so strong. And he increases initiative by 20%. Whoops, where are we? There we go. Increases initiative by 20% in all battles. I did say I'm not going to take Shamash over Hujin, but going over his kit again, he is so strong. Having a reviver who does a bit of healing, who places a shield, this could be strong for an account at the start to have Shamash. You know what? I am going to take Shamash. He is just too good. Let's choose old Shamash boy here. Choose the new one. We're going to replace Hujin. I can see the benefit of a defender like Hujin, but I just feel like early game Shamash is going to be so strong. Let's keep summoning. 650 shards to go. Yes, keep summoning, please. Keep summoning. Give me another legendary. Another Leonidas. Leonidas was so weak. I just found him really underwhelming in the alpha. When you came up against a Leonidas on the enemy team, it was a pain because he would just keep getting his ultimate, and then he would launch his spear at you and do all this damage. But when you played Leonidas and you had him on your team, he was just underwhelming, even maxed. Okay, Dracula is not a terribly good legendary. I would definitely not take him over Shamash, but let's look at his kit. Here we have Dracula. His basic is a single attack, double attack. It's a one hero, one enemy attack, and it's a double. There's a chance to place a stack of blade, so he goes in and blade, and if it's under blade, he heals himself a little bit. Self-healing, it's alright. 2 stacks of blade on the enemies from his core, and remove a buff from each target. If a buff was removed, place 3 stacks of blade instead. Then have another turn. So that's actually quite strong in terms of getting extra turns when you place blade. If a buff was removed, place 3 stacks of blade instead, then grants an extra turn. Or then grants an extra turn is no matter what, right? So whether he puts 1 blade or 3 blades on the enemy and removes buffs or doesn't remove buffs, he gets an extra turn every time he does his core, which is good. Extra turns are always good. Sanguine Tides. This is his ultimate, which is an AoE. He attacks all of them 4 times. He consumes the blades on them and increases the damage inflicted every time he consumes a blade. So he is going to do more damage. I've seen him in action. He's alright. I love his animations. I love the aesthetic of Dracula. I think he's a fantastic character. I was playing Dracula as my character in the CC D&D session that we did last year. But overall, compared to other characters who support your team or bring something to your team that is beyond just damage or self-sustain, he's actually quite weak. He's good in niche situations where you want to just get a whole lot of blades on bosses and just increase the damage that you do because of those blades. But that's about all he has going for him. So let's skip Dracula and continue on. Very happy with having Shamash though. Alright, we have Grendel as our 4th legendary pulled on this account. Let's go over Grendel's kit. Grendel is a strength, brawler, chaos, Avalon. Sorry, not Avalon. Asgard. Asgard, of course. Basic attack. Attack an enemy 2 times. Double attack. If the target is defeated, this hero gets an extra turn. As a brawler, probably unlikely that it's going to defeat an enemy unless the enemy is weak. AoE on the core. Monstrous Breath. A chance to place Despair for 1 turn as a disable. Devourer of Herod. Low divinity required to do this ultimate. AoE attack on the ultimate. After attacking, instantly defeats heroes below 20% max HP, so it's basically an execution. Does not work on bosses, of course. Increase this hero's HP up to 30% for each enemy defeated. Also, increase HP when attacking a boss. So this dude is good against bosses because of that just increased HP that they get, which increases the damage that they do. For every 10% HP that they are missing, increase their speed and initiative. So as their health goes down, they just get faster and roll around to the ultimate faster. Not great. Seems barely legendary. And I can't really see a place for Grendel on this account. 310 to go. Let's go. And the last one. Do we get a 5th legendary? And we do not. Very happy with Shamash. Very strong champion. Hero. Very strong hero, man. Excalibur is good if you're placing buffs. Pillar of the Sky is only good if you have whatever it's called, Retaliate, whatever that skill is, right? So I'll probably change the imprint unless I go with that on a different character than Shamash, in which case I will want to keep this weapon and imprint combo, which is very strong for a handful of heroes in the game. What are the options today though? Aegis, Makuhuitl, and Aminon Nuboko. None of those are strong enough to swap to. Chance to reflect a disable will always reflect the first disable. Pretty niche. Reduce enemy HP, attack and defense. Means that they get weaker and weaker. And then gain a stack of Temporal Aegis or Arcane Aegis when turn meter or divinity is reduced by an enemy. Very specific. Hunt the dragon. There's no point. I've got max ether. And then Pillar of the Sky. I could switch it to be more appropriate. Unify the Realms, this is actually quite strong. Increase the damage inflicted by 5%, reduce the damage received by 5% each time they defeat an enemy. So you need that on a nuker. When this hero is damaged by Blaze or Etherburn, reduce the effectiveness by 25%. So when you're coming up against Etherburn. And when this hero inflicts a critical hit, heal by 1200% initiative this hero, which is a massive heal. But none of those imprints that are there are appropriate for Shamash. And this weapon itself is not appropriate for Shamash. However, this could be a good combo for a completely different hero, as I said. This is great because I get to go into early access on this alt account, which is not going to be played nearly as much as my main account, but on the side as a fun project, I get to start it with a very strong champion, a very good team carry, and something that's going to push me further, faster. I hope you like this video, and I'll see you on the next one.